Good evening, everyone. Hope all is well. Something's wrong. Now going to go live with Tom, who is a business entrepreneur, and he's got a very unique method of attracting vendors in terms of an ABC model. So we're going to talk about that. Let's see what it is about. Tom. Here. Tom.
Hello,
Hi.
Mumtaza. How are you?
Good, and yourself?
Yeah, very well, thanks. Very well. How is it at the moment with business, with all this going on in the world?
Well, we got to be an opportunist in
Mm,
every time, I guess. It'd be
definitely.
lockdown, it'd be
Mm,
curfew, it'd be COVID,
mm,
no COVID, whatever it is.
yeah,
So this is why we are here, talking about a new opportunity with you, Tom, and we're going to be discussing of how you get estate agents to attract more vendors, more instructions, which means more deals, more sales,
mm,
everything, right? And we're going to be talking about that. So thank you so much, firstly, for coming on this live, joining us
appreciate
today.
it. The invite.
Um, Before we move forward, if you can introduce yourself as to who you are and what exactly is it that you do, and then we can
Mm.
go.
Yeah, so thanks for the introduction there. So I'm basically director of social impact marketing, and
Okay,
what I do and the team, we basically set up Facebook ads for real estate agents.
okay,
But we don't just set them up, we also set them up and automate the whole sequence with messenger bots, so Facebook messenger bots.
okay,
So most ads that real estate agents are doing are to a landing page, which is fine. It does work, but a lot of real estate agents now and realtors are asking for more quality leads because you don't want to be phoning leads back all the time and spending, wasting time on
exactly.
all these leads that have come in. You want it qualified. You want the information there so you can call back and you know exactly this is a hot lead. So that's what I do, and we
And this is what
focus
we are going to
main.
be. This is what we are going to be
Yeah,
talking about. But
yeah, go on.
before we move forward, um, you know, I like to ask this to all my guests that come on here. When we're growing up as kids or
Mm,
teenagers, school going, college
yeah,
going, and we see different careers in front of us. Like it'd
mm,
be an architect, it'd be an engineer, it'd be a lawyer, it'd be a doctor,
mm.
whatever it is. Did you aspire to be one of those careers, or what is it that you wanted to do when you're growing up? Were you focused on the fact that you wanted to be a business entrepreneur?
Yeah, that's a good question actually. So when I was younger, I wanted to be a vet. I actually wanted to do a lot with animals. I always
Okay.
had that caring mentality, and I didn't
Was
end up
it
going.
was it was it a lot of David Attenborough documentaries that
Uh,
inspired you?
Actually, it's probably more my mother. She was definitely an animal lover, and we had animals
Okay.
as a kid. And I grown up in South Wales, so I was around countryside. But yeah, my first sort of glimpse into the business world and sort of being entrepreneur, going down that route, is at about 17. I was cutting grass for the local council, and
Okay.
then it was only for an agency, and I left there, and I thought, you know what, I'll start cutting grass for my local area. So I had a car, obviously. Luckily, I got a car because I was working as well, and I paid, passed my test around 17, and I got these Vistaprint cards, and I remember paying £5 to the postie that used to come around, and I got him to deliver them, and yeah, it was great because obviously I had some sort of, um, I had a purpose where it was just me, and I was going around, cutting lawns, and some of the houses were, again, I didn't come from a.
Countryside houses, I guess,
Yeah, do you
South
know what I mean?
Wales.
Like big houses, nice houses as well, and they'd always tip well. And I did it over the summer months, and that was my first glimpse into kind of do you know what? I want to do something for myself, and I really want that. And it kind
And
of
that's what
made
set you
me,
up on the path. I mean,
yeah,
cutting grass is what sort of gave you the edge, I
yeah,
guess. You know,
yeah. It gave me the glimpse.
making landscaping edges gave you the edge in terms of building your entrepreneurship that you wanted to
That
get
was
with.
it. Yeah, that was it. That
And
was it. I had a car. I had a Peugeot 206. You know, it wasn't amazing, but I opened the boot, got a second-hand lawnmower, got these Vistaprint cards, and I was round cutting lawn, and that's how it started. That's
so
exactly how it started.
did you leave the local council job and you were doing this as a whole
Well,
full-time kind of
well, what happened?
venture?
I actually got I got sacked from it. So it was actually what was a blessing in disguise, because
Okay.
I was doing groundsmanship in college at the same time. So the council job
Okay.
worked well, and I learned more about, basically doing a lot of cutting the grass, on football
Okay.
pitches and things like that. And I think it was just one of those environments where I probably knew a bit too much. I'm not blowing my own trumpet, but I knew quite a lot from what I was learning. And I don't think, and the thing is, in the council, you kind of split, between people who had been there a long time, and I think they didn't like maybe a younger person coming in and saying
And
things, but
teaching them what they've done
exactly,
for
yeah,
ages, changing the
yeah,
ways.
yeah, and you know
So
what? That's what it's like sometimes in places. So, just the way it is.
I guess.
Mm.
So moving forward from there, I'm sure you didn't do that for the rest of the years to come. How did it
No.
go? I mean, were you still at college while you were doing this? You mentioned it was a summer job. So
Yeah.
how long
Um,
how long did you do it for?
yeah, so I did it over the summer months because, like you said, it was, college has a summer break, and I did it then, and I could have taken it on. A lot of people said, "Oh, why didn't you go and push on with it?" But in the back of my head, it wasn't something I wanted to keep doing. Even though I qualified groundsman, I've never used it. And what happened?
But
Fast forward to
that gave you the motivation to be an entrepreneur, and that's what you're doing
yes.
today.
Yes, and I went on a bit of a journey because the London Olympics came up in 2012, and I
Okay.
had the opportunity to go and work in security there. So I
Okay.
thought, right, I'm going to leave Wales. I'm going to leave, small town. I need to go. I need to see a bit more. And,
Okay.
the Olympics was a massive opportunity. So I got my security license, went and did that. Went to London, and obviously networking was huge. In London, you can do that, can't you? You meet so many different types of people, and
Of
opens up
course.
other opportunities. But that wasn't my first business venture. I tried drop shipping, as I tried many different things. I even went into, I was a estate agent in London for a little bit, so I got to know about property. And I was ending up, then I was doing the whole, what is it, below market value, sourcing, deal sourcing, trying all that. We had a
Every
bit,
so
yeah,
you went on quite a journey. I mean, from
yeah,
being a
yeah,
security guard, cutting a
yeah,
lawn, being an estate
yeah,
agent, drop
yeah,
shipping on
yeah,
Amazon.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah, tried it all.
so and today now you're here, you're sending leads to businesses what you were doing before. So it must have been that these guys are your clients who are doing.
Yeah, like what you're saying there, it's kind of gone full reverse, because at that time when I got involved in property, and then I was also a estate agent, I got to see both edges, both sides of the fence. And when I first started to go into social media and marketing, I went, lead generation, and especially with Facebook ads. I actually started, and I was doing it for personal injury attorneys, and I actually realized, actually, this is not the niche that I want to be doing. I wanted to really dominate the real estate, and I still want to do that and push this on, because that's where I gained the knowledge. So why don't I put two and two together? And I was more
Okay.
passionate about it as well, because I could understand it from a real estate agent's point of view about, sometimes their marketing and is just hopeless. They're not tracking anything. So I was like, look, let's do it a different way. Let's push it online, and let's track this, because if we get the data, we can retarget it. And that's what's key about online marketing.
I mean, all those jobs that you've done, that you've
Mm,
worked as your business, I'm sure it took some sort of training where you learned, you did the work. I mean, even when you were a realtor, you went
yeah,
in the agency, they must have given you some sort of training to progress, however many years you
yeah,
went for. So when you came to lead generating,
yeah.
you learned it on your own. or did you do a course, or did you do some
Oh,
training? I mean, how did you get on this bandwagon?
you're right. Yeah, I did quite a lot of courses. I got into a bit of debt as well. I was pretty much £50,000 in debt from mostly paying into courses and education. Now, education's great and you can invest in yourself and pay, but you know, I was one of these who was, and I tried a lot of things. So I was a bit of shiny object syndrome. I was trying, you know, because I think what it was, and this is just a personal point of view as well, you gotta, you're almost addicted to that kind of moving forward mentality. And I got told this by, I actually went and seen an NLP coach, you know, I don't know if you know NLP, like neuro
Okay.
linguistic program. Someone,
Yeah.
I actually went and saw someone about it, because
Okay.
I got myself into a bit of a, it's just, yeah, you just, because you're desperate to be successful, and when you're trying business after business and you're constantly in this kind of, why isn't it working? It's working for them. What is wrong? And you only have like a little bit success, maybe with drop shipping this, but you don't actually get there, and that can really kind of push you back. So yeah, I went and saw someone about it, but you know, it wasn't like therapy. It was more like, it was great actually. A guy called Dave, just down in South Wales, and he actually said to me, he said to me, you are addicted to moving forward. You need to deal with yourself now and accept where you are now and deal with that, and stop trying to almost play, because you can sometimes change yourself to be successful, to think that that's going to get you success, but I think that's wrong. You need to accept who you are and push down that line.
I mean,
Do you see what I mean?
do you ever think back and say that if I was persistent with one career,
Mm.
do you think you would have achieved that success rather than moving from different careers?
Career wise, in terms of business, maybe
Yeah, in
yes, but
terms
I
of
think it
business,
was,
what you were doing,
yeah,
you were moving from
yeah,
places, right? So
yeah.
had
They're not.
you
Yeah,
had you stuck to something, you know, which was
I
the
totally
thing?
agree. No, yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, if I look, every business model, right, can work, and I'm not saying they don't work, but it didn't work for me. It doesn't mean it can't work for someone else, and that's
Do
the
you
key
think
to it.
do you think that because it didn't work for you, you got bored out of it, or it sort of drew you back into
Mm,
choosing? I mean, you know, when we're this age,
mm,
sort of 25,
yeah,
35 kind of age,
mm,
you always hear different ideas and you want to try different things to achieve
yeah,
that success. And
yeah,
because
yeah,
your coach mentioned it, right? Because we
mm,
think so forward, we
mm,
don't think about what we are now.
yeah, yeah, I
And
totally agree.
people should think about what they're now in order
Mm.
to get what they want.
I totally agree. I think you have to also, and this was a big thing for me as well. London's great, and don't get me wrong, but I also got stuck in that rat race, you know, kind of also like mentality of where, and I kind of didn't appreciate things, and I should have. You know, you've got to appreciate where you are and actually what you've got, because you're starting in a position where you already feel good about yourself. And if you're constantly saying to yourself, do you know what? I need better. I need to have this. I need to have that. There's nothing wrong with wanting that, right? And you can
Yeah.
have that, but you've got to be happy where you are now. That was my problem. I think what was mine as well. I was always putting on timelines on things, and putting tons of pressure on myself. And you're right. You know, I could have been successful in many different businesses, and people are. But for me, it just, at that time, maybe I wasn't in the right place at the right time. I wasn't ready. You know what I mean? I had to sort.
Tom, you're breaking up. Hello. Sorry, you're breaking up, Tom. Hello. 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 Yep, we're here. Sorry, I don't know what's happened there. I think it's the internet connection. You are breaking up, Tom. I,
Right, we're back.
yep, we're back, but I can't see you. It's a
We're
bit
back.
dark out there.
Yeah, I don't know why it's so dark. It's So what's happened there?
It was
Right.
okay when you were talking earlier,
Yeah,
but
yeah, it
then
was all right, and now it's gone all dark. There with me then. Right.
there we go. Yep, we're good.
Let's get some more light. There we go. All right. The thing is, I don't know why it's dimmed down. It's like the
Yeah,
phone. It's like the phone is.
I think it's the sunlight that's coming in. But
There
it's
we
all right.
go.
Yep,
That's all
we're
right.
good
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Yep.
That's all right. Yeah.
So
Cool.
coming back to what you're doing right now,
Yep.
and what you're doing is generating leads for estate agents
Mm.
to build in more vendors, to build in more instructions in
Yes.
terms of doing more deals.
Mm.
So this is where you come in, where you're saying that you've got an ABC model
Yeah.
of generating those leads. It'd be by Facebook, it'd be Instagram, it'd be social media, whatever it is, through the website or through email contacts, anything it is. What is that ABC model? I mean, can you tell us a bit more about it?
Yeah. Yeah. So the ABC model is, I think of it as a triangle. You got A at the top, your ads. You got B, bot buyers, right? Now
Hello?
you need all those together.
Sorry, we know the
We cut
A,
out.
but the B,
Yeah. The A, the
yeah,
B, the C. So we got A for ads, B for bots, messenger bots, and C for the customers, whether it's the vendors or the buyers, right? You need them to link
okay,
all together, which is your targeted audience. The thing
okay,
is, Messenger, Facebook ads is huge because obviously the amount of targeting, and I think estate agents need to take more advantage of this, especially local areas. You could
okay,
dominate your local area compared to if you dominate. And what we do, this is what we do differently. We don't just put ads out there and say, we do valuation. All right, it's just no, you don't want to do that. When you're targeting locally as well, you haven't got a big enough reach, meaning you need to have a decent amount of people, but you don't want it too big. So you target an area, your local area, and you give free value. So we call it a seller lead magnet, all right, which is something like, we could do five best ways to increase your property price during coronavirus, right? Which is great. You give a free value, right, to a cold audience, you're going to bring people in because you can't base it on interest levels. If you're targeting just a local area, if you're targeting the UK, you're going to have to because it's 44 plus million. It's too much,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
But what I do is focus on mainly local, especially real estate agents who have local, again, more independent, but they've got a few offices. Target there, do a cold audience. Get the audience in the messenger bot with a free value because you're giving them a free guide or free ebook. From there, some will go down the line of the messenger bot because you're qualifying them for evaluation, but then the key is to retarget them. So in the first month, build the database of subscribers up and then retarget that audience because you can set that on Facebook ads as a custom audience with just valuation ads. So ads, because you already know that they've come into the bot and they've seen, you've got your guide. So they've
so
seen
basically
interest.
you target the audience that engages with you on that bot, and
Yes,
then retarget them again in
that's
case
it.
they've not possibly contacted you for the valuation. I mean, what's
Exactly that. Yeah, it's exactly that. You're targeting a cold audience first for free value, right? You give them free value away. They come into the bot, you build the database up. Once you get it, I mean, again, you can build it up in a month to at least, 200, 300 subscribers. They're leads. They've come in the bot. They've taken your free ebook, right? Some of them might have gone down the line where they've gone towards a valuation. You wouldn't retarget them because they've already gone down the line. But the ones who've come in, and this is constant thing, you're running that ad for a free guide. You're getting leads coming in, and then what you do in like month 2, because I do it in a 90-day plan, is
Yep,
focus on retargeting that database, because then you've got a stream. So that's why I call it's an ABC model. You want to basically have the ads, you've got the bots to qualify it, but you want it to go around. You want it to constantly run in the background and do that, and that's the key to it because you're qualifying them much more. You don't want to be phoning back. You want to retarget them with ads. I think it's up to 7 times someone has to see your business before they actually go ahead. Yeah,
is that a
that's the
fact?
rule of thumb. Yeah, rule of thumb. 7 times they have to see you and your ads or anything before they actually go ahead and go down the line and take action. So you know, you got to retarget them in a few places. But Facebook ads is huge because it's what you're able to, again, Messenger as well, Facebook
And these
Messenger.
could be these could be any kind of ads, right? It could be evaluation, it could be renting out your property, it could be
Yes.
if they're looking to buy a property, you know, just even just advice if they wanted property advice, for
Yeah.
example.
So it's, you know, most I'd say most estate agents want vendors. That's the biggest thing, which is true because vendors bring stock, and that's where the money
Okay.
is. They have
Of
buyers. If
course,
they want
of
buyers,
course.
we can get buyers down the line. You don't really get many, you know, they don't really ask for many ads towards like rents and things like that. It's literally how can I get more qualified vendors? And because
And
some of
do
them,
you
yeah.
currently only work with real estate agents who are just targeting their local areas, or do you work with real estate agents that target the whole of the UK, I guess?
Good question. So I've had a few house buying companies approach me, and they've got massive budgets, and they obviously the whole of the UK because you know again they're doing big. But I've actually you know I keep the same. I haven't done it yet, but we're in discussion with a major one now where if we get on board, it's going to be a UK campaign, and it'll be the same process. But instead of just straight out cold audience, it will be more based on interest level because I would target people who liked Rightmove or Zoopla or certain, you know, because you don't want to just do one ad to one whole thing. It's about the key to this and the key to this method is building that database at the start, getting the data so you can retarget them. That's the
And do you
powerful
give
bit.
some sort of a budget to your customer that, look, this is
Yes.
what I think you should be spending to get those qualified vendors, I guess?
Yeah, totally agree. So what I say in the first month, you want to we say $500 or £500, depending on where you are in the US or whatever. Yeah, with £five hundred
So do you take
pounds in the
international
first month.
clients as well?
Yeah, the US.
Okay.
So Australia, obviously anywhere in the US, Canada, we're looking at obviously going, but UK is what we focused on, and
Okay.
it's growing. I want to more branch out because this system the only difference in is here to the US is in the US Facebook ads is a little bit you can't do any interest based. You can't even target on age because
Okay.
since Cambridge Analytica before that it was a gold mine. You could target on how many credit cards someone had, how many mortgages. You could really get down,
Wow.
and it was for a marketer it was pretty and obviously, you know, it changed because it had to change in that way, but it's still good.
Yep.
It's still good because that's the key. Get the data, and then retarget. Because if you don't have the data, and this is what a lot of leaving out. You know, most real estate agents and most, you know, anyone who's involved in business and has a website, go and get a Facebook pixel. Go to Facebook Business Manager, get a free account because it's free, and go and get a pixel. It's a little bit of code, it goes in your site. There's plenty of tutorials on YouTube, and that will start from now collecting data. Doesn't mean you have to start ads, but in 6 months' time, that pixel's already got a lot of the data. So it's already got an audience that you can target who has already come to
And
your
they've
website.
visited the website.
Yeah,
They've come through
cool.
social media, either
Yeah,
they've come from
yeah.
Google, whatever it
Click
is. It
buttons.
stores all that data in there.
It stores where they've come to your website. It stores the information. Also, you can even get it to the point where they filled in a form or they clicked a certain button, and you can only target that audience. But most businesses should be doing this now because otherwise, what are you doing with your website? Your website needs to be, you know, you need to be using that. If people are
Of course.
coming to it, retarget. That's an audience there that when you're ready to go, you've got an audience ready to retarget, a custom audience. Very powerful.
Um, we're talking about budget. You mentioned
Yeah,
£500.
yeah,
So tell me, if I was to come on board
yeah,
for the next 6 months,
yeah.
what sort of budget are we talking about? And bearing in
Well,
mind, I deal with the
yep.
UK property, so it could be anywhere. You know, I could be going to Manchester,
Um,
Liverpool,
yeah, yeah,
Birmingham, Central London,
yeah.
you know, wherever it is.
Well, if you want to target a certain area, I'd stick to £500. But if you want to target different areas, I do it per area. If you want to do a whole UK, you know, you want to put another zero on that. That's about 5 grand. and go from there. Now,
And that's your first month or the first 6 months?
that's the first month. Yeah, that's your first
Wow.
month. Like I said, the key is to get a return on investment. We work on the way we work. We look at, okay, the cost per lead, how much it works. And I've got a plan on my, you can actually get it. It's on my Instagram profile. There's a link to it as well. But in that plan, it basically gives you almost like a formula of how you can work out on your ad budget, how many leads you're going to get that on conversion. Because we can work out if we use this ad budget, this is how many leads you're going to get, and like that in this formula. And that's what's key about it.
So does this ad budget increase every month, or does it stay the same for, let's say I'm in Holland Park right now, and I want to concentrate on the local area of Holland Park.
Yeah.
So that stays £500 per month, or does that increase every time, or does it get lower?
No, I'd look at basically keeping it the same and then scale it. Once that's winning and once that's getting, what you want is leads, qualified leads, and obviously we're getting a return on investment, pump more money, scale it. If it works, you just got to scale it up. You don't have to change things, but what you want to do is then look at other stuff and maybe test a different type of lead magnet, different type of guide, or different type of that. Once you've got a decent cost per click, anything from £1 to £3 is pretty good on a cost per click. That's cost per message. So that's someone clicking the ad and going into the message, right? But anything up to sort of £6 is acceptable. But I like to you want to try and get that. Once you've got it, say, £2, £3, that's very good. Let it do its thing, because it will go up over time, and then you've got to do another lead magnet. But it's about gaining that audience in your database so you can retargeting. Retargeting is the most powerful thing. That's what you're looking towards. And this is why I tell people.
And that's why you see these brands, big multinational brands, they come up with their adverts every single time on TV, just showing you, reminding you constantly that, even if it's a bottle of Coke, constantly reminder,
retargeting. They're always on, and that's the thing. And eventually someone's going to do it. Look at Amazon; they're so good at it, and they'll be rolling those adverts out very soon, because that they're doing Prime Day, aren't they? Soon. Right?
That's the only thing now with curfew, guess. Shop from home, watch from home. I guess Amazon's going to take out food as well, so eat from home. Everything.
They smash that market, definitely, and you see it with other. And I love it, because when I see other ads, and even on Facebook, a good thing is what I recommend if you want to look at other people's ads is go and search it in Google, and just go all over their websites, and then go on your Facebook, and they'll start popping up. And then you can just save them into a little folder on Facebook. You can put save, and then I've just got all the ads in there, so I can go, oh, that's a good ad. I'll take some of that.
So okay.
Yeah.
Not plagiarizing, but getting ideas, I guess.
No, but you get ideas. You need a swipe file. It's like a little swipe file, which is great.
Of course. Do you have a limit to how many clients you take per month, or the more the better?
Yeah, I mean, if I couldn't take on loads at once, because at the start you've got to build the bots, you've got to put the ads in, you've got to do all that. But again, I'm looking at taking someone on now, because I've dealt with, once it's kind of set up and we can go from there. I've got a team as well. But
do you give a daily update or a monthly update? I mean, how
monthly.
does it work?
We work on monthly, but in the first 7 days there's an onboarding period, because obviously we've got to do some research, we've got to build the ads, get the copy. We put that to the client. We say, are you happy with that? If they're happy with that, we go ahead and we go from there. The first month's key. You've got to test. You have to build the database. If you can't build the database, you're not going to be able to retarget down the line. You've got to find out what works as well. You kind of know to a degree, but Facebook's a funny one sometimes. With ads, you can spend a lot of money and blow it down the drain. But at the same time,
of course,
if you don't test and split test things, you won't want to know, because the aim in the first month is to get a winning ad copy that's actually bringing leads, generally like an evergreen ad, right? It's there, it's bringing in leads, it's bringing in there, it's building the database. And then month 2, you want to retarget, put up the retargeting ads for that database, and then let it run like that and build it out. That's the key. So
so basically creating an automation constantly.
Answer to your question though, I want to take on another client now, because I think we're ready to go again. But I wouldn't take on 50 at once. It just, I need to focus on get it set up is key, especially, if they're in the US or they're in the UK, depends where they are. I want to look at their area. I want to see who else is doing the ads as well
Of
around.
course.
What are they
Of
doing?
course.
There's a lot of
Of course.
research.
So you check the competitors, you check the
I
local
do.
area, what that other guy is
Yeah.
doing,
Yeah.
and then you
Yeah. I
set up
want to
a
see what
plan,
they do.
and this is how much it's going to cost you, this is how much you'll get out of it, all that kind of stuff that a customer would want to know. But it's been absolutely amazing chatting
Yeah.
to you, getting all that
Been great.
information,
Been great.
and
Yeah.
anyone listening who wants to be a new customer, a new client of Tom, get in touch with him, DM him, and I'm sure he will help you out. But before you go, Tom, I do this with all my
Yep.
guests that come on here. Of course, business is one thing. Being positive throughout that business is another thing. So we've seen so much negativity around us for the past few months, nearly a year now.
Yeah.
What positive advice would you like to share with the people today so that they can take that on board, feel motivated, and move forward in life?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for someone now is if they're looking to especially, get into something or get into business, find out what your true values are as well. What do you really love doing, right? And try and connect that to something within business or, again, it doesn't matter, but you need to really be passionate about what you do. There's no
Of
good
course.
trying to There's no good trying to do something just because, it might make you, money, or it looks good and someone else did it. And if you're not interested or you're not passionate about it, there's no point. So find your passion or think about what you really love to do and connect it in something with business, because there's always going to be something there.
Of
And
course.
then you can go down that line. And you know what? It opened other doors.
And then if you want that passion to work in business, to generate more leads, contact you.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Murtaza. I really appreciate
Super.
that.
Thank you so much, Tom, for coming on here, sharing all
you.
that with us. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you very much. Pleasure talking to you too, and take care.
Take care. Bye.
See ya. Bye-bye.
So that was Tom. Check it out. Check out his page and see how he does it. See how he generates leads for businesses. I mean, I really love that model, ABC, quite simple. See how he does it. And if you're interested, get in touch with him. Thank you to Tom for coming on here, sharing all that advice with us. Thank you to all the viewers that tune in. It's been a pleasure. See you soon. Bye.